Does Medicare pay for assisted living? And unfortunately, the answer is Medicare does not pay for assisted living, but I've got what could be a good solution for you to pay for assisted living for a spouse or for yourself. So this strategy only works for couples when only one of the spouses is currently in or will be going into an assisted living situation, or assisted living is being received in the primary residence through in-home care. So we all know that assisted living is ridiculously expensive. So $4,900 for assisted living in a community, $5,400 for in-home care, $8,600 for a nursing home. So those are the median costs according to Genworth. So realistically, assisted living could cost anywhere between $60,000 to $100,000 a year, which could be financially devastating to a lot of people just due to the sheer cost of assisted living. So the question is, how are you going to pay for it? We know Medicare is not going to pay for it. Family might be able to help if they're financially able and willing to do so. Medicaid could be an option, and you may or may not qualify depending on your income and asset levels. But the other thing that you have to consider with Medicaid is that they may lien the estate. And so Medicaid has the ability to put a lien against the estate to be reimbursed for the money that they've put out to pay for assisted living. And so where most people end up at, which logically makes sense, is to start dipping into their retirement savings. The issue with that is that depending on the cost and depending on how long somebody needs assisted living, it could completely wipe out a couple financially and wipe out all of their retirement savings. And the issue with this is not only are the retirement savings getting wiped out, but when a spouse passes, typically household income is also going to be lost. So not only have you spent all the money in retirement to pay for assisted living, but when that person passes away, then we've also lost household income, again, putting the remaining spouse in a financial bind to where even daily living expenses could become a financial burden. So how are we going to do this, and what is the other solution? And that is to pay for assisted living with a reverse mortgage. And there's actually several benefits to doing that. First and foremost is you could get access to income tax-free cash to either supplement your income or to pay for the assisted living expenses. It could help you retain retirement savings. So again, instead of pulling all the money out of your retirement savings, that you could actually use funds from the reverse mortgage to pay for assisted living care. You may not even need any financial assistance from your family, assuming they could even help you, and this way you may not even become a financial burden to them. And finally, you have the potential to leave the remaining spouse in a much stronger financial position to deal with either the loss of the retirement income and or the loss of household income. So let's take a look at the scenario of Tim and Sarah. They're both 79 years old. They have great income. They own a $450,000 home free and clear, and they have about $85,000 in retirement savings. So again, this is probably not a couple that would ever consider a reverse mortgage, but I'm going to show you why it could make sense for them. So the issue is Tim has a high need for care. Bathing, eating, going to the bathroom. Sarah, physically and emotionally, she cannot take care of Tim on her own anymore, and it's really become a health and safety issue for Sarah herself. The decision was made that Tim needs to go into assisted living, and it's going to cost $5,000 a month. After tax, Sarah only has enough money in their retirement savings to pay for about a year of care. And on top of that, Sarah's going to lose about $2,600 a month in household income between Social Security and Tim's pension when he passes away. And Sarah really needs those funds in the retirement account to supplement her income when Tim passes away and that income goes away. So Sarah reached out to me, not really, this is a fictional couple, but let's just say Sarah reached out to me to look at the reverse mortgage to see if it was an option for them. And so Sarah's actually got a couple different options here. The first one is to get the reverse mortgage today as a backup in case all of the funds are spent paying for Tim's care over the next 12 months. And we're going to assume that Tim makes it 12 months and Sarah has spent all the money in retirement, at which point, starting in year 2, Sarah would start drawing $2,000 a month to replace household income that was lost when Tim passed away. Now, this loan is based on this bar chart here. So we can see the blue represents the home value, and we're assuming a 4% appreciation rate. The orange represents the loan balance, and we can see this loan balance is increasing over time, and it's increasing for 2 reasons. One, Sarah's going to be drawing out $2,000 a month, and every time she draws out $2,000, it increases the loan balance. 2, we're going to assume that Sarah is not going to be making a monthly payment. She still is going to be paying her property taxes and her homeowner's insurance, but because she's not making a payment, the interest and the mortgage insurance is getting added to the loan balance. So between those 2 things, that's the reason why that loan balance is increasing over time. The green represents the line of credit. And we can see right off the bat, they're starting off with a $181,000 line of credit. And we can see this line of credit is decreasing over time. And that's because Sarah is drawing out $2,000 a month to supplement her income to pay for her daily living expenses and to remain comfortable during her retirement. Now, what's interesting is if you look at initially we have $181,000 in this line of credit, and in 5 years we have $148,000. But based on this scenario, Sarah would have drawn out $100,000 during that time, but yet the line of credit has only been reduced by about $33,000. The reason for that is because this line of credit actually grows. So any funds that are available in this line of credit are growing at the current interest rate plus 0.5%. So even though Sarah's drawn out $100,000, the line of credit has only reduced by $33,000, which is really, really awesome. The second option Sarah has is to get a reverse mortgage to pay for assisted living, leaving the retirement assets alone. So she's going to draw $5,000 a month for 12 months. Again, we're assuming that Tim passes away within a year. At that point, after Tim's death, then she will start drawing down retirement savings for 4 years, and assuming $2,000 draws and assuming a 4% return on investment, that those funds would last her about 4 years. And then starting in year 6, she would then start drawing $2,000 a month from the reverse mortgage. So again, same bar chart. The blue represents the home value at 4% appreciation rate. The orange represents the loan balance, and then the green represents the line of credit. Now, with this scenario compared to the first scenario, there's a pretty significant difference. In fact, the loan balance is about $40,000 less, and there's about $40,000 more in the line of credit. So from just a number standpoint, this option could make a lot more sense for Sarah. But again, it's totally up to her and what makes sense for her and what makes her comfortable. Now, in 10 years, at that point, Sarah's going to be 89 years old, and let's assume she needs assisted living at that point. So she could draw out all this money out of the line of credit, and she could prepay to move into an assisted living facility. And then in the meantime, her and her family could sell this property, and she's expected to net about $366,000 from the sale of that, which then she could use then to pay for her assisted living. So all the way around, this puts Sarah in a much better financial position had she not done the reverse mortgage in the first place. So as you just saw in those examples, there's some pretty good reasons to consider getting the reverse mortgage to help pay for assisted living. First and foremost, by getting the reverse mortgage and getting access to additional funds, it allows you to do better planning around care needs and finances, because what we're doing is introducing another source of funds to help pay for assisted living. At that point, you could bring in other professionals, maybe a CPA, financial planner, an estate planning attorney, to figure out what is the best course of action, which source should be used first, or maybe they should be used in tandem. But bringing in these other professionals can help you do a better job around planning. And then again, it gives you flexibility on where those funds come from. Do you use your retirement savings first? Do you use the reverse mortgage proceeds first? Again, a lot of ability to do planning here. Then it also creates access to an additional source of funds that could help create financial stability for the spouse that is not in assisted living. And then it creates an additional source of funds for the spouse after one of the other spouses has passed away and household income is lost. They could start supplementing their income with the reverse mortgage. Plus, it gives them access to proceeds to help pay for other future expenses, such as medical care expenses, their own long-term care needs, or home maintenance, all of which can be very expensive. And then it creates peace of mind. And it does that in a couple different ways. One is it creates peace of mind knowing that if you were to run out of retirement savings, you've got an additional source of funds to help pay for it, as well as peace of mind for the remaining spouse once another has passed away, knowing that they have another source of funds to supplement their income and then pay for large expenses when they pop up. So you want to give me a call. I'm happy to talk to you, run some numbers for you, do some forecasting, look at different scenarios to see if the reverse mortgage would be a good fit for you. There's no cost to speak with me. There's no obligation, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about reverse mortgages. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.